Ooh, here we have it. Hey everybody, welcome to another video. The KLX throttle body is finally back from getting ported. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so we got it all unwrapped here, and as you can see, this is the injector side. You can see the injector right there. And we got it bored out all the way to 38 millimeter, and I've heard that's the max, and it certainly looks like it is, as you can see on the bottom edge of the throttle body there. Max bore in DeLand, Florida. He went ahead, put a new throttle blade in there after he was done boring it, and I can say it looks pretty sweet. Just look at that. It's all nice and cleaned up. Here's the other side. We got a big opening right there. Let's go ahead and look at that side by side with a stock throttle body. So backside and the injector side. I'd say an outstanding job by Max Bore in Florida. I'm glad that my head porting guy recommended me to him. By the time it was said and done, it was about $140 to ship it all the way from Oregon here down to DeLand, Florida. $15 for the shipping down there, and then $125 for him to bore it and send it back. So about $140. It's a good deal for sure. I'm really glad he was able to open it up to 38 millimeters because the KX250F has a 40 millimeter throttle body. Now the KLX has a 38 millimeter, which means we are 2 millimeters short of a KX250F throttle body. But hey, 2 millimeters, I mean, yeah, it'd make a difference, but you know, going from a 34 millimeter to a 38 millimeter throttle body on the KLX, that's going to be a world of difference. In combination with the ported head and all the other mods, of course, the big bore, full Barker exhaust, I think we should be making some good power. I'm hoping for at least 33 horsepower at the wheel. I think we can do it. But right now, we got to take this throttle body to the head porting guy so he can finish up the head. All he has to do now is finish up the inlet, of course, from the throttle body to the cylinder head. And then the head porting should be done. So let's go ahead, hop in the car so we can get this done as soon as possible and slap the KLX back together. We have made it to the head porting place. Now I guess I'll see you guys when I get out of there. Sweet. Alright, just got done at the shop there. Got a shot for you guys of the porting that's done so far. Should be done in the next couple of days. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. And we both think that it's going to flow pretty well. Right here, he was very nice to let me borrow his Starrett dial gauge here, as you can see right there, so we can measure the squish of the piston. So right now we're going to go home, get the KLX out, go ahead and measure the squish, and of course I'll bring you guys along for the ride. So let's get home. Alright everybody, we made it back home. We got the bikes pulled out, and here we have the KLX. So we got to go ahead and measure the squish here. In order to measure the squish here, we got to get the head gasket off. So we're going to take a razor blade and lift up. Not going to point it down at all, so that way we don't mess up the deck here. But yeah, first things first, we got to get this head gasket off, and then we can measure the squish and go from there. One thing's for sure, we got a pretty good seal here on the head gasket. So we got the head gasket off, we got some material left to get off here, and then after that we can go ahead and measure that squish. Okay everybody, it's been a few hours here, but we got the head gasket removed. As you can see, got it all cleaned up here as best as possible, and after cleaning that up, yeah, I can see that The head gasket was sealed up pretty well. Don't really see any signs here of blown head gasket or leaking head gasket. Here's the old head gasket right here, so you guys can look around that. But yeah, it doesn't really look like we had any leaks or anything. So for measuring the squish, we ended up using some feeler gauges, and I got a measurement of about 0.044 inches, or 44 thousandths of an inch, and that's without the head gasket, uncompressed, and we're at top dead center. So 0.44, and then I'm not sure what the thickness is of the head gasket. I'm gonna have to research that. If I find it, I'll put it in. If not, maybe you guys can let me know in the comments below. But 0.44 plus whatever the head gasket thickness is, so we're right around the 60 thousandths squish, so we're looking good right there. So yeah, once we get the head back in a couple of days here, we should be good to go to slap it together, put the throttle body on, then take it to go get dyno tuned. Yeah, things are looking pretty good. The piston is looking good. The base gasket as well is looking good. The coating hasn't come off on it, so did a good job of not disturbing it. And like I said, the head gasket is all cleaned up here. Alright, before we end off the video here, another note on the piston squish is, like I said, uncompressed cylinder, and then we got to add the head gasket thickness to the piston squish. Another thing worth noting is that if we did need to adjust the piston squish by, say, milling the head or making any modifications to the deck of the cylinder, we better know the piston to valve clearance before we do any of that, because we don't want to collide, of course, the piston and the valves together. But since we got a pretty good measurement, about 44 thousandths without the head gasket, and then add on the head gasket, we're right around the 60 thousandths mark piston squish, so we should be good there. But get excited, everyone, the cylinder head is almost done. When you're seeing this, I'll either have it back or it'll be tomorrow that I get it back. So look forward to assembling the bike together and then taking it to the dyno, and then hey, should be good to rip. And what do you think about that throttled body? Looks pretty good. I'd say it's definitely worth the $125 to send it down. But that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also share it to your friends and those who may enjoy it. And of course, if you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? Go down there, hit that subscribe button, get the bell on to keep up with the KLX, the FZ-09, and the Corvette. But with all that being said, join the club, and I'll see you in the next one. Ooh, we are ready to rip.
I'm the motherfucker greatest, yeah, I'm the greatest. Bitch, my competition, they just don't fit that niche. You could try to take a shot at me, I would not flinch. I try to jack at myself.